This is our breaking news out of the San Gabriel Dam area. That is what you're looking at, the LASD Sheriff's Department helicopter down just off of what I believe is Angeles Crest Highway. And inside were multiple people. We've got police specialist Dennis Zine here to weigh in on what he is seeing or what kind of information he might have about a rescue unit like this one, if it is indeed an air rescue unit. Dennis?
Yes, well, L.A. Sheriff's Department, they have the pilot and the tactical flight officer, the observer. The helicopter obviously crashed on its side. A number of fire units there. We don't know what the condition is of the occupants, if they were there for a rescue or they're on patrol. They are in the canyon area, so it's possible they were there for a rescue situation. And I hope they're okay, because that crash scene does not look very promising when they crash on the side, come down and crash on the side of that. They were there. I have no idea if it was for a rescue or if it was just for patrol. Probably a rescue, I would assume, in that particular location.
Well, we're told that there were 4 people on board and that they have successfully taken 2 critical patients to a trauma center. It's possible that there's one more person still trapped inside, although others are reporting that everybody is out. Everybody, all of the personnel are out of that chopper. And I want to bring in meteorologist Mary. And Mary, was there anything about weather conditions that might have contributed to this? Again, we do not know how or why this copter went down.
You know, based on observations, what we're seeing, there was some breezes, but nothing all that strong. We are told that it looks like at the time, in the last hour or so, it's been mostly partly cloudy, southwest wind around 9 miles an hour. We've seen maybe a strong gust, 15, but we do expect that area later this evening with an approaching storm to have those strong winds, but it doesn't look like, at least at this point, nothing is indicating in terms of our weather observations that this was weather related.
Okay, and of course it's very preliminary, so we really can't say. And Dennis, we typically call on you to comment on police pursuits, so I don't know how well you would know what the stats would be on how often a helicopter would encounter some kind of problems and then go down. Do you have any idea of what the record is with LA Sheriff's Department air rescue units like this one?
And law enforcement, fire, they all work together. It's very, very seldom. This is an unusual situation. It's seldom. I know we had one recently in Huntington Beach where an officer did pass away, the tactical flight officer, the observer. This is very unusual, but it's not unusual to have the choppers up on patrol. But looking for the area, they may be there on a rescue. They may have been there on a rescue situation versus a patrol. We'll find that out when the investigation continues. But it's obviously the helicopter on its side, so there had to be some very serious injuries to the folks on board that chopper.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us now, you are looking at the response to an Los Angeles Sheriff's Department helicopter that went down near the San Gabriel Dam. This is just off the Angeles Forest Highway. That is the road that you're looking at there, and you see all those rescue units and patrol cars that have responded. At this point, it's all preliminary information, but we're hearing that 4 people were in the helicopter and that 2 of them, at least 2 of them, were successfully transferred, but they are being called critical patients. And they were coincidentally or ironically loaded into a different helicopter for transport to a trauma center. So last we heard, there was a 3rd person aboard, and they are trying to get that person out. So that is the kind of information that we have. And Dennis, again, so you say this is a fairly rare occurrence. Do you stay?
It could have been an engine situation. It could have been something. They're in the mountain area, and I would assume they're in that. If they're not on patrol, they're there for a rescue, which is not uncommon in that particular location. There's a lot of hikers, and they get called to rescue people. That's not unusual. Very seldom do we see these incidents taking place where they do crash. I know we just had one recently. LAPD, sheriffs, they all work together, the officers, the pilots, etc. But a very tragic situation. We hope they'll all be okay. But the investigation, I'm sure in a couple hours, we'll figure out exactly what they were doing, whether just on patrol or they're actually on a rescue. I would assume that particular area, they're on a rescue, some type of rescue situation.
Yeah, rescue situation there in that area just off of Angeles Crest or Angeles Forest Highway